along with Dan Wesley White, we were supposed to have Navy veteran Fraser Newcomb. He's popped in a few times. Unfortunately, the connection. We were supposed to also have Michael Wooten, Vince Campbell, and one more, I believe, veteran. But that's okay. Right now, we're Dan. But it's all about the connections, right? We want people to join in. But it's a busy day, Saturday. So let's flip it over. And actually, we are live on Facebook, which people are commenting right now. So I really appreciate the commenting, and we love interacting. Dan, can you tell us, share with our viewers, how long you spent in the service, please?
About 9.5 years.
And can you give us some positive feedback on your 9.5 years in the service if people are watching now and they're thinking about joining? What could you say in a positive way?
Well, basically, I was in high school and I really didn't have any plans. And because I came from a middle-class family, I really didn't have any money saved up for college. So I decided to go ahead and try my best the way I knew how, which was to enlist. And I was actually able to take an audition from high school, and I passed the music audition where I was able to go into the Army band field. And nowadays, you don't really see that. Nowadays, they want you to have already college degrees and stuff a lot of times when you audition for the military band. So I was really lucky that I was able to do it right out of high school.
You know, that reminds me of a little bit like you got an open mind, right? Like you just sort of tried something new and you're open to it. And can you tell people how important it is to keep an open mind, especially for the young kids coming out of high school, or, you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel you have.
Well, I mean, I knew I didn't have anywhere to go, and I was about to graduate. I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have any schooling lined up or anything, and I knew I needed to do something. So that's why I decided, hey, at least I'll go into the military, get some training, and then maybe get out later and go to college, which is exactly what I did. I was able, with my service, to get my GI Bill and everything, and that's how I paid for my college degrees. And if it wouldn't have been for the military, I wouldn't have had anything to do at that time, except probably get in trouble or something.
That's so important for sharing. So again, it really did help you. And how long have you been out now, Dan?
I got out in 1999.
1999. And then you went right into your kind of merged into your
I kind of had off and odd security type jobs for a few years. And then when I got my all my VA stuff situated where they would start paying for school, that's when I went back and got my bachelor's and then eventually my master's.
Do you think you would have done this without music in your life?
No.
So tell us how important it was that music is attached to your career.
Well, music is basically my safe space. That's what I have to not only pass on to other people, but that's how I feel comfortable, or I relieve stress and things like that.
That's very. I want to talk
music,
about that.
I probably wouldn't even be here.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how often do you practice?
Basically every day, since I'm a teacher.
Every day.
I got to know what I'm doing before I can teach it to somebody else.
And give us a little bit of an insight. So let's say, I'm going to give you a couple examples. So let's just say you're having a real busy day in your life, and it's a positive day, but it's busy. So tell me how the music enhances that day or helps you that day or soothes that day. From a busy good day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in any situation, music makes the day go better because you got to think mood music. I mean, what kind of mood am I in, or what kind of mood do I want to get my body into? And you just program your playlist or whatever, depending on how you feel or how you want to feel. And that's kind of how you get through the sluggishness of it all.
I was going to say, tell us what music means to you on a bad day.
Bad day, usually it's something happened at work or something happened in the family or whatever. Those are the kind of days you just want to listen to something slow and depressing and get all the negativity out of your body.
And when you finish practicing, whether a good day or a bad day, how do you feel coming out of your studio? Do you feel like, I play sometimes I have a good practice, and sometimes I go, oh my God, I couldn't get that. I just, not a good hour spent in my head, even though it was a great hour spent, but I'm going, yeah. I didn't get that. Do you get that sometimes? Like, I had a really good practice, or I didn't hit it today. feel it.
Yeah, I mean, especially like when I'm learning a new song or something, whether it's by ear or by reading music. I mean, we all have our good and bad days. I mean, I've been doing this almost 40 something years, and I still have bad days just like kids do.
I love that.
But you just got to get through it. You just got to keep practicing until you get the licks down or the phrasing down or whatever it is.
That's great, Dan. On the show today, we have Sergeant Dan Wesley White, U.S. Army. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to flip it again. I want to ask him some questions about what's going on in today's world. So stay tuned. You're watching Veterans Corner. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. I want to get a little bit of perspective from Dan. Obviously, he's a veteran on what's going on today out in the Middle East and in the Ukraine. So, and I don't want to be negative. I just wanted your perspective. And what do you think? Like, what do you think? Where we went in the past, where we're going in the future? What's going on today, Dan? What are your thoughts with the Middle East?
I think we're about to get to a bad situation all over the world, and I think it's going to be worse than it was in the 1940s.
And why would you think that off the top of your head? Like, why do you think it's getting worse instead of getting better?
Well, we don't really have any leadership in the U.S. right now. The leadership is MIA, or the people that call themselves leader have no experience with this kind of a situation where they're basically appeasing to organizations that are trying to do us harm. And I just don't see the intellectual side of that. Why would we be trying to appease people that are trying to hurt us over on their side of the world?
And how would you if you had a crystal ball, and I know this is like a crazy question, but how would you try and make it better? Like, what would you recommend? And I know that's very tough to say. Like, that's an insane question, but I asked it anyways.
Well, first, we just need to get our fingers out of other countries' business. I mean, we just need to pull our resources back to our country and stop being the world police. That's the way I look at it.
That's a great perspective. That's great. Well, Dan, I really thank you for being on the show today. Like I said, I wish we had a couple fellow U.S. veterans and Canadian veterans on the show, but it's all about the technology, and whoever can log in, and whoever can't, we'll catch you next time. So again, I really appreciate you, Dan. Before I let you go, if people want to check out your music, besides our website and our Facebook page and everything, where could they go?
You can go to my website, danwesleywhite.com. It has all of my music and my merch, things like that. But I do want to say also on October 20th, I'm going to be part of this indie artist concert where we're all going to do like a 2-hour live stream concert, bunch of different indie artists. And it's to raise money for the areas that were just recently impacted by the hurricane.
Well, please send us any information that you can on that, Dan, and we will be sure to promote it for you guys. And I do want to connect again with the Texas FOB. I know we've been going back and forth. So great support down in Texas. I love the state. Love the Longhorns. So there you go. Sims. Okay, you're watching Veterans Corner. I'm Jay Stoyan. I'm going to come right back, and I'm going to wrap the show with a few updates. Thanks again, Dan. Safe driving.
All right. Thanks for having me.
We want everybody to tune in and watch this incredible event. Willie Chambers, June 7th, events, telethon. Be sure you check it out.
Welcome to Veterans Corner. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We're out here in Claremont, Ontario, just Pickering, Claremont area. What a location. What a facility. I'm going crazy. We're here at Dave's Creative Ironworks. Look at the merchandise, the talent, the sculptures. His back room, his shop right here. We're going to go in there later on. On the show today, we have two fabulous guests. We have to my left here, we have Fraser Newcomb, 84-year-old Navy veteran from the East Coast. He's doing an Ontario Legion tour right now. Last night we played at Parry Sound. Tonight we're playing in Port Perry, all for the veterans, showcasing awareness, employment programs, kindness, love, entertainment, music. Fraser's going to take us out with a famous song. So again, I'm Jay Stoyan. You're watching Veterans Corner. We're here with Fraser Newcomb. In the second half, we're going to bring on the creator of this wonderful location. We're going to bring on Dave from Creative Ironworks. He's going to tell us all about his career, the merchandise. I'm over the moon. So anyways, I really thank you people for joining in. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Fraser Newcomb. Welcome back to the show. You're watching Veterans Corner. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. To my left is Navy veteran Fraser Newcomb. Fraser, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming from the East Coast.
Oh, I'll do it anytime you want me.
So tell our camera exactly why you're here in Ontario.
Well, I like to support the Disability Channel and the veterans, of course. That's our game plan, and we will do whatever we can to help them out. So this is more or less for that reason. I liked Ontario. I was here a few years back, so I thought I would decide to come back up again and meet these guys that I never met before. These guys here.
That's great, Fraser. Yeah, let me give you a little outline why Fraser's here. So he's touring Ontario, hitting 6 legions in 2 retirement homes. We're going to be entertaining the veterans, the troops, the spouses, the people in the legions. You gotta help out your local legion. They're a wonderful gem that people either don't know about or they forgot, because the people are so friendly. They're all veterans. The prices are extraordinary cheap, like compared to the other prices where you want to go to a bar, you know, and have some food. And they have lots of things to offer, especially for veterans and their friends. So right now we're doing an 8-location tour. We're going to be filming the locations. We're doing 50-50 draws, live auction. Big thanks to Dave for donating a few items. Big thanks to Long and McQuaid. Big thanks to Wood Creations. Good thanks to Veterans for Healing. Wow, I can go on and on. We just have so much support. So it's great. We're in each legion for a couple hours. We would love for you guys to join us. If you want to find out more information, you can go to our Facebook page, the Disability Channel. You can go to our website. You go to Veterans for Healing. You go to Dave's page. You go to Fraser's page. So again, so tell us what's going on tonight, Fraser.
We're getting ready now to go at the Port Perry Legion, and we're going to set up after a while, and we'll be doing some Stompin' Tom, a little bit of Boxcar Willie, some of Hank Snow, my next door neighbor who used to be, and we're going to mix it up a little bit. Whatever the people like, we'll try to satisfy them.
That's great. If people want to find out more information about Fraser Newcomb, they can check out Big Records. It's a wonderful independent music label platform out on the West Coast, owned and operated by Mark Rosner. He does terrific things for independent musicians. Again, Big Records. So Fraser, why don't you take us out with a classic?
Oh, let's see what we can do. Well, here's the train a-comin'. It's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, and that train keeps rolling on down in San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear the train a-comin', I hang my head and I cry.
Hey, that's great, Fraser. Thank you so much, buddy. Again,
Thank you.
you're watching Veterans Corner. We had on 84-year-old Navy veteran Fraser Newcomb. He's doing a tour for Ontario Legions in old age retirement homes. Stay tuned, as we're going to be coming back with our second guest from Creative Ironworks, Big Dave. We'll be right back.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Welcome back to Veterans Corner. I want to thank Fraser Newcomb. What a great guy, Navy veteran, 84 years old. Like, can you imagine being 84 and going on tour from Nova Scotia across Ontario? Like, is that crazy? And now we have another great man on our set here. We have Dave from Creative Ironworks. Dave, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks, Jay.
I'm so impressed with your work. Like, it's crazy. It's just like you have so many fabulous items. We are in your shop, but you know what? I want you to tell us a little bit of the background, a little bit of the makeup of your company, how long you've been doing it, and I know you're a big supporter of the troops. So, yeah, please, Dave, you tell us about your shop.
Well, I was raised on a farm. My dad had a welding shop, and we had a lot of horses. I mean, we're Irish, so the Irish always had it.
Okay.
So, all of this I picked up very young. And then, when I could time to go to school, I became a structural engineer. But it was an office job, and I can't work in the office. So after 17 months, I quit. And I come home, and my pop said to me, well, what are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to buy another truck and another portable welder, and I'm going to work for myself. But at that time, when I decided to work for myself, I went and took every salesmanship course I could. Because if you can't sell yourself, you can't sell your product. You know?
That's a great point.
As you know, I like to talk. You know, I like to make friends. I like jokes. And that was probably one of the greatest things that of my education, you know what I mean? So I started originally working on farm machinery, dump trucks, bulldozers, and stuff like that. But I always had one part of my shop that I done artwork in. And I was always interested in the guys that done the sign painting on the doors of trucks. And I love to do that. And so I got into painting doors and cottages and interior and all. And then I got into the horse business.
When you say you got into the horse business, what does that mean?
Buying and selling and showing horses.
Really?
And I did it right up till 05, till my girls grew up and they didn't want horses anymore.
Okay.
But I've always done the ironwork. And I love woodworking, ironwork. I love stained glass. And it just, when you're handy at one thing with your hands, everything else just falls into place. You know what I mean? And this is what I find in our education system today. All of the trades is eye-hand coordination.
Okay.
The young people today can't even write their name.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
I took penmanship when I went to school. Man, I can write with my right hand or I can write with my left hand. I got hurt a few years ago and I wasn't going to use my right hand, so I had to use my left hand. But no matter in life what happens to you, no matter how bad it is, if you see the good part of it, you're the winner.
That's right.
So when I hurt my right arm and wasn't going to, they said I'd never use it again, I took up using my left hand.
now I can weld with my left hand. I can sign my name with my left hand.
So let me ask you this. So you're a welder, you're an engineer, you're a painter.
I like to paint doors on trucks and stuff like that.
You're a woodsman.
I like doing woodwork.
Woodwork, like that's a lot of talents.
Well, I've had a lot of help down through my life. I haven't had an easy life. I've had a tough life, but I maintain the most important thing that you've got to learn in life, and we got to teach our children, is how to give. Give of our time, give of our love, give of our knowledge, give of our money, give everything we have, and it comes back in the most mysterious ways.
That's so true.
Life has been hard part of my life.
Yeah.
But I have never drank, I've never smoked, I've never done the drugs.
Good for
That's
you.
why I'm 80 years old and I'm still working.
I was going to say, can we share how old you are? But you just did.
I was 80 years old on April the 15th.
Happy belated.
You know.
Yeah.
And I've had some big issues, but I'm a praying man.
Yeah.
I'm not a holy roller, but no matter what faith you are, it's basically all the same. In every Bible, you're not supposed to kill.
That's right.
We're not supposed to steal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of those things. And I think if you can live as close as you can to the Ten Commandments, it's not easy, by a long shot.
That's right.
And there's always the devil's got temptations there. And
let's do this. Why don't we take a break? Let's introduce the other star on the set here first. Who's this star right here?
This is my dog, Althea.
Althea, what a beautiful
Althea
dog.
came to me 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and she is chipped in Lebanon. She came into this country with 12 other dogs.
Mm.
This dog was sold originally for $8,700, and then they never took good care of her.
Mm.
And they phoned the seller and said, "Come and get this dog." So he brought her to me, and she was skin and bones.
Mm.
And all we done, I said to the guy, just love this dog. We don't want to correct her, do anything.
And tell us again the brand.
She's a Belgian Malinois.
Belgian Malinois. Yeah, wow. And you have 3 others.
I had tried to get her bred once, and
Yeah.
she wouldn't take. And last year I got her bred. And last October she had 12 puppies.
Wow.
Out of the 12 puppies, 2 of them had both male and female genitalia.
Ooh.
So we eliminated them. She raised 10 puppies.
Really?
But what I bred her to was to an Iranian Malinois that's a lot bigger than her. And these pups, the pups she had, I've had every kind of dog just about, but I never had pups before.
Mm-hmm.
This dog has taught me so much. It's just incredible.
Beautiful. They're the best animals in the world, dogs.
And I saved one pup, and when she had the pups, I picked out what I thought was the best. But then, as he got a little older, I'd let him out run all over my shop, eh?
Yeah.
And we had this little one pup, and he wouldn't bark. He would just whine and just follow me every place. I'd pick him up and pet him, and he just couldn't get in your pocket. And I'm thinking, man, I'm keeping the wrong dog. So I kept the pup. And what he has turned out to be, nobody can reach out and touch me.
Yeah, you're mentioning that.
Nobody can raise their voice at me. You don't holler at Pop.
Yeah.
You don't touch Pop.
Yeah.
And you don't pick nothing up out here. Or now, he's probably weighs 75 pounds.
Wow.
He'll take you right down.
He'll take you down.
So, he's so aggressive. So I'm taking him this week to a trainer to specialize in these dogs. And I talked to 3 trainers, and each one of them told me the same story. This is an exceptionally smart dog. He said, trainers, breeders have bred for years to get a pup like this. I have never done no training on him.
Well, this guy's great
And,
too.
So I'm sending him out this week because he's the kind of dog I want,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to be able to control him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a break, and as we take a break, we're gonna cruise some of Dave's shops, and you're going to see some of the talented merchandise that he creates on a regular basis. Again, you're watching Veterans Corner. We're here at Dave's Creative Ironworks. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Dave's connection to the veterans. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Veterans Corner. The Disability Channel, showcasing abilities. Welcome back to Veterans Corner. We hope you enjoyed the tour. We're going to do another one at the last commercial break. So we just took a look at his shop, well, I guess his store, kind of. And then we're going to take a look at his shop where he constructs all these wonderful pieces of art. So Dave, tell us a little bit about your connection with the veterans.
Well, I believe that we should, like our veterans, all of our veterans are getting treated terrible by our government and everything, you know what I mean? So I think all of us should do everything we can, because they go over there, they give their all, and they come back here, and they can't even get a place to rent.
Yeah.
They don't get no respect. So that's why all of the people, we got to step up to the plate. We got to give these people recognition. We've got to house these people. We've got to doctor these people. You know
I agree. I agree.
And anything I can do to make, I like to donate stuff, and I like to help people. Sometimes it comes back to kick you in the butt, but most of the time, it's a plus. You know what I mean? And I started out a few years ago by doing a big tree for the Legion in Claremont,
which I saw, yeah.
And I tell you, once I done this, and I saw the difference that it made, that really convinced me. Anything I can do for the veterans, I do it. Anytime they come and want something, I donate it to them. You know what I mean? And I
nice.
do it not because I want something back. I do it because I can.
How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel very proud.
Yeah.
That I can do something and it'll be in the Legion.
Doesn't it make you feel good when you do something good for somebody else and you can really see it in their face, like they really are almost shocked. You know what I mean?
the icing on the cake for most of the stuff I make is when the most of the big pieces, you can't put your name on it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to, you can't. But my girls can go down to the city and they say to their friends, oh, my dad built this piece over here. And my dad built this
That's
piece.
so cool.
That is the icing on
That is, especially for your kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They probably go.
And the most expensive piece I ever done was $750,000.
Yeah, you told me that was a gate or something.
A big tree I done.
Yeah.
And
$750,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just from a little welding shop out in the country.
That is crazy. Well, I was speaking about your gifts. Like, I really want to thank you, as Dave's Creative Ironworks has been kind enough to donate 2 really pieces of artwork for our fundraiser for our tour for Fraser Newcomb. So I really thank you for that, Dave. Like, that's from the bottom of my heart. Like, and you should see the pieces. You'll see them later in the show, but like crazy good pieces. So I really want to thank you. So Dave, if people want to find out more information, plus Dave's going to be associated with the channel now, so you can see all the information and all his great artwork through the channel and all of our platforms, but along with Dave's on Facebook page, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be promoting Dave. We're going to be getting his merchandise out there, his artwork out there. It's really good. He has a great heart. He helps the veterans. He's veteran connected right here in Claremont. We're going to do some big things with Dave. So, Dave, I really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you very much,
Wow.
Dave. It's my pleasure.
This is great. Again, you're watching Veteran Corner. I'm just going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with some updates. Welcome back to Veterans Corner. I just want to recap the show and just close it out. Again, I want to thank Dave from Creative Ironworks on the show today. I also want to thank Navy veteran Fraser Newcomb for being on. We're just on our way now to the fundraiser or the event at the, Claremont Legion. We're very excited there to have another great event today. And actually, I just want to update, guys. So we're going to be having a June 7 telethon called Veterans First Initiative from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be Toronto, Chicago, LA, and Phoenix, showcasing musicians, showcasing veterans, showcasing our employment programs, information, how people can get help, how people can get healthy, how people can get working. We're also going on tour in July for our friendship tour, courtesy Big Records. So we're busy. We're busy. We love to be busy. We love for you guys to connect with us. We have lots of opportunities. If you're looking to get healthy, looking to get employment, give us a call. Go to our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Again, you're watching Veterans Corner. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time.
Saxophonist Don Bynum, formerly of the Commodores and Bootsy's Rubber Band, reminding you to tune in, be very sure to tune in to the very first Veterans Telethon. What day? June 7th. Say it with me. What day? June 7th.
the Veterans Corner. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We're really excited today as we have another hero on our show today. Actually, two heroes on our show today. In the first half hour, we have from the West Coast, from a great band called Loops. You heard it correctly, Loops. He's also a veteran and a hero. His name is Kevin Roy from Big Records. Wonderful musical platform, and actually we're live right now on Facebook, so I can see people commenting, hey guys, thanks for supporting the show. Very excited. I think this is our 10th million veteran on the show. No, not really 10 million, but a lot. We have a lot, and we have a lot more coming. So before we get to our guests and we take our first commercial break, I just want to announce a few things. Right now, the channel is in talk with Burton Cummings' team. Ooh, Burton Cummings, Canadian legend. I'm going to share more down the road. And actually, we're meeting members of the ACD merchandise team at the end of the month. So we are rocking and rolling. We're very excited. Right now, we're currently on tour with 84-year-old veteran Fraser Newcomb. We're doing an Ontario tour, hitting Legions, Royal Canadian Legions, and retirement homes, and we're wrapping it up next week. So we're very excited. The tour has went very well. It involves production, awareness, programs, live auctions, friendships, gifts, just everything, donations. We really want to thank the Legions and our veterans and those people who support veterans. So again, I could talk all day long, but you know what? We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with veteran and musician Kevin Roy, no relation to Patrick Waugh. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Veterans Corner. Welcome back to Veterans Corner. On the show today, we're very excited. So we have a hero. We also have a former RCMP on the show today. We have Kevin Roy from the band called Loops. Kevin, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I love that.
Yeah, thanks. I love being on here, and I appreciate you letting me come on and share my story and meet everyone that's watching.
Well, thank you for your service, Kevin. I really appreciate that. You're another hero, so we're very honored for you to be on the show. I love your shirt, by the way. That's a great shirt. And I love the wording. Like, I know we talked about it offline. You said we're a little bit different. We're a little bit outside of the box. So I love that. Before we get to the band, tell us about where you're located, and then let's get into your military service. Of course, I know people are a little hesitant to share a lot, so I appreciate whatever you want to share, and then we'll jump into your cop world, and then we'll jump into your music world. So take it away, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a disclaimer in case anyone's thinking it's like just the weirdest thing. It's backwards because of the camera. So normally this isn't how it's obviously clearly spelled Loops as the just in case anyone out there was like, wait a minute, that's a little weird, backwards words. I'm RCMP. I was a member for 10 years. We talked already kind of off camera here about a shared passion and love for the Leafs. I grew up in Ontario, and I was posted out into RCMP I went to Regina for Depot like everybody did in 2009, came out to Kamloops, BC, and I kind of thought that was going to be the path, right? As I'm sure a majority, if not every single one of the veterans you've connected with your amazing disability channel and Veterans House and everything you've been involved with in your journey, I'm sure we all have a one connecting theme that this isn't exactly how the plan was supposed to go. I thought I'd have the full 35-year career and ride off into the sunset, and things didn't work out like that. Had a couple major incidents early in my career where I got PTSD. Didn't even know what PTSD was early on, and eventually found out. And being in my mind, what was supposed to be the good soldier, I tried to just weather the storm for multiple years, and then following more and more incidents just kept adding more and more layers onto the already deep PTSD kind of scarring. And I just got to a point where I had a major kind of thing that kind of occurred. The stars aligned, the universe, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. But then I realized, I just couldn't do it anymore. I was having trouble. I couldn't sleep. I was having nightmares every night, and went off work for a little bit, and just kind of decided I think I need to kind of do a major major life change here because I'm not going to make it much further. And retired in 2018. Been doing music full time ever since.
Wow, that's a great story. And how long did you? I know because once a veteran, always a veteran. But how long did you? How long was the time frame for you in the service?
Just shy of 10 years. October 2008 is when I went to Depot. I graduated 6 months later, and April 2009, which was 16 years ago now. And yeah, and then I served for just shy of 10 years. I retired in August 2018.
Okay, and how long were you in the police force for?
The entire time, RCMP for 10 years. Yeah.
The entire time, the entire.
Yeah.
So did you do kind of? You were both. You were like a veteran, or take us through the veteran world now, or that was at the same time.
Yeah, same time. So with the government of Canada, we're all like classified as like. So I live now. I think we've talked about this before, you and I separately, but I live now off of my veteran affairs pension, and because I'm diagnosed with severe and complex PTSD. So that if it wasn't for veteran affairs, if it wasn't for recognizing that for like not all first responders, I don't believe at this point, unfortunately, for paramedics, I've seen them experience some pretty crazy traumatic stuff as well as firefighters. But with veteran affairs, they classify RCMP first responders at a certain classification as veterans, no different than people that serve in the army or military or overseas or whatnot. So
wow,
so that may not be.
No,
Yeah, I don't know if that,
I didn't know that. So because you were an RCMP officer.
Yeah.
It's a different qualification, kind of.
Yeah. So it's no different to me. I personally, and I know every RCMP that I know that has served that does suffer and is in gets help from veteran affairs. We all look at every single military as our brothers and sisters, and the government, veteran affairs, VAC, like they look at us we're exactly the same.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, because that is something I was not aware of, because I've never actually really interviewed an RCMP officer. Like I've interviewed like Durham cops and Toronto cops, and like cops right across the board, but never wow, that's a sign I never knew about. Wow, thank you for sharing that. So when you actually retired, let's just say, what was your title that you retired with?
I was a constable.
Constable.
So I was the foot soldier. I was the guy that was out on general duty calls. So I would take like the general duty 911 calls. I was a specialist though, so I was trained in a couple extra fields in my career. So I was very specifically the guy that whether I was on one area of town or another, a lot of times if I wasn't working, they called me in. Like I would take specifically what's called next of kin calls. So I'd be the guy that they would call in to go and tell someone's family that their loved one just passed away, or their loved one was on life support and they weren't going to make it any longer, and they'd all be at the hospital, and I'd be the guy that would have to come kind of let them know that stuff. So yeah, that wasn't easy. And I dealt with suicidal calls. I was kind of a specialist for that. So I was always the guy that would go and help out people on suicidal calls.
And how much did you actually interact with the veterans in uniform?
Sorry, you mean like military?
Yeah.
Or
military,
we have the community's really tight, right? So especially since I was diagnosed with PTSD, you're kind of in the dark, whether you're in the military or the RCMP. RCMP is a paramilitary organization, just by definition. The RCMP itself, it's still like Depot is. You would think you're literally. It's no different than just literally going to training for the military. Like it's identical. Wow. They haven't changed so much since like the 1800s. Like 1873, I think, is when Depot was built, and they haven't changed anything since then. Like everyone's marching, and you have drill instructors, and it's no different. So it was when, for me personally, once I was diagnosed with PTSD, a lot of colleagues were very gracious that at least had gone through it. Everybody else kind of shuns you, just treats you like you're just the lazy guy or the guy that doesn't want to work ever. And it's brutal. And I know it's the same in the military from people I've built friendships and connections with. And it's the same thing, because you're supposed to be tough. You're supposed to just fight it, and you're supposed to just not have issues, right? And unfortunately, if you had a broken arm and you're in a cast, everybody would be perfectly okay with it, but you don't.
Yeah.
You have something, fundamentally is having issues in your brain and your heart, in my opinion. And it's unfortunately, people don't see it that way if they haven't dealt with it themselves. So I actually received more help and assistance from veterans in the military community than I did from my own people in the RCMP, to be honest. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Wow.
They
Well,
were
thank you
very warm
for
and accepting, and Facebook groups and people just connecting and taking care of us. And like I said, Veteran Affairs, to me, Veteran Affairs Canada back, they have been just, I wouldn't be probably having this conversation, to be completely candid and hopefully not too morbid, but just being real with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be having this convo with you right now. I don't think I'd be here. I'd be underground if it wasn't for VAC, because VAC made everything possible. They made me be able to put food on the table for my son still and provide for my family. And I'm forever grateful for them and people in the military that treated me the same, even though I was a first responder in the RCMP.
This is great. This is great. Wow. We just had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we're back. So Kevin, thank you so much for sharing that insight. That's important information I was not aware of, like regarding the combination from military and RCMP. On the show today, we have veteran and former RCMP officer Kevin Roy from the band Loops. He tells us all about his experience and all about what he's been dealing with regarding his health. And I want to say, Kevin, I want to jump in because the Disability Channel has new developments, and I'm mentioning this because of your conversation with a wonderful health organization called Well-Beings through a founder named Peggy Shepard DeGroot, and their clinic. They have a medical clinic out here in Toronto, in Burlington, actually, and they focus on mental health, pain, and addiction. And they've recently brought on the veteran platform, and now we're collaborating together. And this is something I would love to connect you with Peggy, because I'm sure it's a groundbreaking, innovative medicine platform with no meds and proven results. So we're collaborating to get veterans, disabled people, and able-bodied people healthy, a new skill, and a job in media. And we'd love for you to take this course. And it's all covered by the VA. Covered by the VA for veterans. And if you're not a veteran, the courses do cover a lot of the cost. Not all, but for veterans, it's all covered. So after the show, I'm going to introduce you. Why don't we do a quick break? You're watching Veterans Corps. I'm very excited. On the show, we have Kevin Roy from the band called Loops. He's also a former RCMP officer and a veteran. So when we come back, we're going to flip it and we're going to talk some music. Before we go, has anybody ever told you you look like a young Jerry Garcia?
Oh, wow. No, I haven't heard that one, but
there
I'll
you go.
We're
going to come back with a young Jerry Garcia. You're watching
It's the hair. It's the hair on the
We'll be right back.
I'm not that naive. Men were meant to ride with life between their knees. I'm only a man who's selling their keys. Waiting for one way, only a man who's selling their keys. Looking for special things inside of me, inside of me.
Welcome back to the show. This is super exciting. No one ever. I was looking at you from the start of the show, Kevin. I said, you know what? When we flip the music, I'm going to bring in. Yeah, your hair has got to be a little bigger, But I can
Oh,
see
it
you can do
get big
do
too.
that
It's
in a week.
huge.
Yeah, you can do that about a week. Before we get started, I do want to mention to people we are live right now on Facebook, and people are commenting, and we will share and we will comment back and reply. So thank you so much. We love our Facebook page. It's so good. And also in the second half hour, we're going to bring on U.S. Army veteran Dan White. He's also a musician. I'm going to connect Kevin with Dan. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a few more minutes with Kevin about his career, the band called Loops, and then we're going to bring on Dan White from from Texas. So tell us about a little bit how you transitioned from such a serious career. Not that music's not serious, but you know what I mean. Different level, right? From an RCMP military man into the music, including the viral special that you want to tell me about. Tell us about that.
Sure, yeah. So I had PTSD. I was at that point, by every definition, I was grinding every day. And I was doing the job. I always did the job with the intention. I always really admired growing up um, police officers, and I always really admired anyone in the military, any branch of the military, to be honest. I was just enamored with heroes in my mind, people that go out there and they're the shield, right? And that to me was, it was just my ultimate aspiration in life, if I could do something memorable, right? And I ended up I always had that mentality, and once I had the PTSD that was kicking in, just kind of the universe struck in a weird way, because the universe kind of does that. And 10 years ago, actually, this August, so 30th of August 2015, I was doing what's called a bar walk. So I was full uniform, and I was with an auxiliary member who's like a volunteer. He came along with me, and we were walking through all the bars, just kind of doing what's called like flying the flag. So you're just kind of walking out and you're saying hi to people and just being friendly, but reminding them, hey man, like, police officer out here tonight. Don't go drink and drive. Don't go get in any trouble. Right? We're watching. And it was a really busy night, and there was a couple off-duty members that were there that night, and they were close friends of mine. And one of them, her brother had passed away that week, and she was at the wake for her brother that day. And she was really upset, and she knew I was a singer. And she asked me if I could sing a song at karaoke. And I was like, well, I don't really know. And she's like, you can pick whatever song it is. I'm like, you know what? Because you're special and you're having the worst day of your life, I'll do it for you. So I said, I need to pick the song though. So I picked Superman by Five for Fighting, which I felt is very apropos for just for first responders in general. Everyone listening, if they're a first responder, they'll appreciate that song, I'm sure. And yeah, I sang it. There's a couple hundred people in the bar, and just the second I started singing, just phones come up and everyone starts recording. And within like a day, one video started going viral, had a couple 100,000 views. They wanted me on the news. And then the next day, it was a full day later. And I remember I was working security. I can't remember his name now, to be honest. I think some of my PTSD has blocked it out. My memory's not the best, to be completely candid. But I was doing, at the time, the election was happening, and it was a federal election. And there was the NDP candidate was in town at the time. He was in Kamloops, and I was doing security for him. So I was watching his hotel room overnight, and I'd literally just sit in the hall and watch his hotel, make sure no one tried to kill the guy. And I got home from doing security at 7 a.m, and I found out that someone had posted a second clip on Facebook, and that clip was on the Ellen DeGeneres page. And Ellen DeGeneres, is like producers, was reaching out to me through the RCMP channels, trying to ask me to be on the show in my full red serge, a traditional Mountie RCMP outfit. They wanted me to be on there and sing and do a whole thing. And I've never seen anything like this in my life, Jay. This is what it's like for viral videos, like just behind the curtain. It was mental. And this is 2015, when things, if it's something that got 1 million views, as you probably remember, it was like 100 million today, right? Like, it was a big deal back then. And I remember the girl I was dating at the time, the two of us were sitting there at like 8 a.m. after I got back from working the security with the guy. And we would hit refresh on my phone on the video. And I'm not exaggerating. Every time it would take me to hit refresh, the video count would go up by 500 to 1,000 every single time you would hit refresh. In like a second, another 1,000 people saw the video, or another 800 people saw the video. It was mental. So that video got to like 900, almost 1 million views within like a day and a half. Kind of. Yeah, they wanted me on there, and it was incredible because there was 20,000 comments, and 20,000 shares. Like it was going like wildfire all across North America. And like I said, the producer from the Ellen DeGeneres show wanted me on there. CTV was getting interviews and everyone around me, and they're like, "Can we talk to you?" And we you're very personable. We'd love to have you on just to talk on our morning show. And the commanding officer was awesome, but he was away on vacation for a couple weeks. And the guy who was watching the detachment at the time, just sitting in, he was like, he brought me in and he's like, "I'm not mad that this happened, but it's just not kind of how we handle things. And let's just brush it under the rug. Let's just sweep it under the rug and just let it pass over. From my experience, let's let this blow over." And I was like, "Are you crazy, man? Like, this is a golden goose of publicity in a positive way." There's a million videos out there right now in 2015 of, young black men getting killed in the States and stuff. Like, everyone are really upset at police right now. And this is a beautiful chance to show that we're good people too. Like, we're not all the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
But they just didn't there was no precedent. There was no good videos out there that had ever gone viral before. So they didn't know what to do with it. So they just swept it under the rug and they basically kind of locked it down and were like, "Nope, no interviews, don't do anything." So then that started like a major backlash where the public were like, "Don't silence our karaoke cop and don't silence our Superman cop."
Karaoke cop. That's so good. That's
it was crazy. It was crazy. And it turned and it ended up making people even more mad and more rallying behind me. I almost became kind of like this martyr for the situation. And then at that point, it fed into the PTSD and stuff. And I very much was just like, you know what? My whole goal when I started was always, like I said, was to make people see first responders and military and all these people that go out there and try to be the shield, just to help people see them in a good light. Every call I'd be on, that's why I did the next of kin notifications. That's why I did the suicidal calls. That's why I was specially trained. There's me and two other people in my region of central BC that were trained to do interviews with children under the age of 6 because I cared and I wanted people to see us differently. And I realized I reached more people 1 3-minute video than I would reach in 100 careers if I kept working, 10 hours a day. So I kind of
that's such a
I
great
had nothing else to do. So I was able to retire with peace and move on. And as a result, now since then, there's thousands of like every police force was like, "Okay, well, we're not messing up like that, like Kamloops RCMP are. Like, we're gonna go and we're gonna make sure that we actually do this properly." And they've been staging videos, and it's because it's good. It shows police in a likable, approachable way, right?
That's such a great story, Kevin. Wow. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to edit in that clip into our edited version along with one of your songs during our commercial breaks. Because
Sure,
now,
yeah.
why don't we take a break? Because I do want to bring on another veteran from the U.S. named Dan White. He's a U.S. Army veteran. He's also a musician from Texas. Because I do want to talk about your friendship tour. And I want you guys to connect because you guys are both a part of big records. Big shout out to Mark. He's just an awesome boss. He just really takes good care of independent artists right across the board, from Laura to Stillwater to Brandy to Marie, just a whole gang out there. So stay tuned. You're watching Veterans Corner. When we come back, we're going to introduce U.S. Army veteran Dan White.